Okay. Welcome, Val community. I wanted to make a short video on omen mistakes that I see. Omen is the best character in the game right now. I mean, look at these pick rates. It's actually disgusting. There's not a team that isn't picking Omen right now. So I wanted to make this video just to showcase some of the things that I see that people are doing wrong, even at the highest level. Um, we'll go through Ascent first, if my game wants to load.
I am the beginning. I am the end.
First of all, this is actually a good time to talk about this.
The
Um,
charges.
when you're buying, no matter what map it is or what side you're on, you should be buying Paranoia, 2 blinds, and shields. Oops. As your pistol buy. Ghost or this buy is just so trash.
No
Not having
charges.
blind is just an insane mistake that I see, especially from low elo. They think, oh wow, I have the one tap gun, or even, oh my god, I see this sometimes in mid elo, and I know I have an ascendant buddy on my gun, which is embarrassing. Whatever, ignore that.
Here.
But
My
it's like,
ultimate is
you
ready.
know what I mean. The the audacity to buy this instead of a blind that'll help your team is like insane to me. Anyways, okay, so ascent related mistakes that I see. First of all, this is more of a lower elo thing, but placing this smoke first
Cover
here on
going
A,
out.
and then placing
Cover
this one
going out.
is just insane to me. When you're going for a rush, and you smoke heaven second, and I'm here, that smoke is gonna pop after I peek, right? Which means if there's an op here playing um, in heaven, and I get
Here.
opped by this, I'm blaming my omen. And you might say, I smoked it. Shut the fuck up. You didn't smoke shit. You should have waited for my smoke. You should have smoked it first. You smoke this first in the prep phase. Right when your player gets here, that's when you throw your first smoke. And then right when your player gets to about here, that's when you throw your second smoke. This way you can time your blind perfectly immediately after, right for John. That's just the basic what you would do every single time you rush A. You smoke heaven about right when your players get here, smoke tree here, and then go for blind immediately after. Second thing that a lot of people mess up on Omen is here, I'll show what I'm talking about on B. This is people try to tell me it's personal preference on which way you smoke, and whoever told you that is wrong. As soon as the prep phase starts, smoke here, and then smoke market. This way, you don't have to charge up your CT smoke, and then both of these smokes will pop before you're even peeking. And you might say, well, this is more of a timing issue. Well, the timing on CT and market matters a lot less than on A, because you're taking cover here into lane a lot sooner. On Ascent, with such an open space like tree, and since you have to be worried about tree the whole time, having this smoke up for as long as possible to give you the most time to close the door matters a lot more, because tree is always going to be a danger, so having this smoke here needs to be up for the longest amount of time. Versus on B, where the smokes are pretty similar in length, and since you're trying to get into lane as quick as possible, having these smokes up for as long as possible is less, it is still important, but it's less of a priority, right? These smokes kind of here on B, because the choke is so close, you kind of have to spam them. But let me just show you what I'm talking about. If I were to smoke market immediately, and then I smoked CT, I'm peeking before this smoke goes down. Now, obviously, the smoke wasn't placed perfect, but you get the idea, right? I'm going to be peeking if there's an op player or there's just somebody holding here from CT. Not only are they very safe, but I'm not going to be expecting this angle. If I'm the duelist, I'm probably not going to be looking there. Obviously, I'm going to do a like half check, but I'm mostly looking at stairs. I'm looking here. So if people are able to see you from CT, it's really bad. And then this market smoke will go down sooner, and then you could actually have a problem from lane. Let's go back over to A to talk more about what I was talking about. Kind of covered everything that you need to know on attack for in terms of A, so let's just talk about the defense. The most aggressive option that you can do is here in A main.
Shadows traveling.
And then obviously you go for this smoke immediately. What a lot of people like to do is obviously shoot like this and then blind here. The problem with that is if you blind like this and the one way's up,
cover going out,
and you try to blind like this, people who are standing here and crouched can still see you. So you're gonna want to blind the actual choke. And you might say there's going to be people here. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not wide swinging, right? I'm just peeking this part, and that's the only part that I need to hold. If people are pushing up onto me, then I'm gonna back up, right? I'm gonna smoke myself and then back up to dice. But when going for this, now obviously, if I were to go for this, I'd want my KO here just to smoke. Can you not ping? Oh, right. You can't ping outside of the smoke. But you get you get what I'm trying to say, right? If you're gonna smoke like this, you smoke up here, then you probably want someone to assist you. That way you can play the blind instead of this, where you have to react and then throw your blind. This way you can get anyone who's trying to peek your KO or whatever and try to flash them. Obviously you'd have knife, you'd wait a little bit. And then, yeah, that should be how you control A. Now, one thing that I would suggest is be careful when you're placing your smokes. If you try to place them directly off cooldown, yes, you're going to have it smoked off for longer. But if you don't have a player here, there's going to be a timing that could happen. I would honestly prefer it if you overlaid the smoke even by 3, even 5 seconds, if it means that you're gonna have you're not going to, what's it called? There's not going to be any downtime, and there's not going to be like a timing that where people can get past you. I wouldn't like drain your smokes completely. If you're using up your last smoke, then you're obviously not going to have anything defensively to get away. So if you really want to go for this one way and you are the only player there, I would actually strongly advise that you just don't go for it. If you want to set up this smoke and you want to repeatedly have this one way here, you need a second player to hold with you, because if you're not peeking and you're trying to put this smoke up and they timing you, they get full control of A, the round's over. Another thing that I'd like to talk about is here on dice. I would not jump spot like this. This is the old way to jump spot. Your head is going to be peeking up way more. If you're going to jump spot, do something like this, right? You're going to want to play here in hell, and you just spam the space bar. Now, obviously, you don't have to spam it that quickly, but just having this option is always nice. For here, you have two options. You can hold your blind out immediately, and this is most common versus Waylay. That way you can stop anyone from pushing out like on you. But for the most part, I'm going to be smoking like this, right? I'm going to be in this form, right? The regular form. And then I'm going to smoke immediately and then go for my blind. That way it will stop any of the supporting cast from coming through. And even if the jet gets up here to Gen or behind Gen, I can kind of isolate this fight rather than having to worry about all of the supporting players or utility coming out of that smoke because they're all blinded. That way, yeah, like I said, I could take this fight with a little more confidence that I'm not getting run up on. Now, if you check the scoreboard and you see that there's a bunch of ults about to come at you, like KO ult is the most important, Breach if they're playing Breach, any of the big ultimates that's going to make this site hold a lot harder, you could go for um, a preemptive survival smoke. If they're KO ulting especially, you don't have time for this smoke and then to blind because you're going to get KO ulted anyways. KO ult is going to reach from far enough away that if he KO ults from here, your blind is either not going to get value or it's just going to get suppressed altogether. So having this smoke prepared is probably your best bet. Now, if they had a big ultimate like that, and I do have the option to get away, I am just going to TP out and then play the retake. But if you have a pretty bad retake team, like your team just fucking sucks, or you don't have Killjoy ult and that's kind of what or you have Killjoy and that's what you're relying on, yeah, I'm going to TP. But if you don't really have that option, or you really want to play on site, try to get your one, and try and, like, because you have two people tree and they want to play, let's say Sova darts here, and I want to play in the smoke and go for phantom kills, then that's obviously going to be possible. And that's why I would preemptively place this smoke. Back to the one-way thing that I was talking about, I would never go for this one-way when I'm on B. If I'm on B and I wait for that smoke to travel for as long as it does, the attacking players have the timing and they will get through this choke fast enough that this one-way won't get there in time. So the A rush is going to get stopped, right? So obviously I wouldn't place that smoke. The only scenario where this is possible is if I were to play from B and I wanted to get this smoke, I would need some sort of utility that fully stops the attackers from pushing through this chokehold. That way it could set up for time for that smoke to actually come down. For example, if your teammate was to KO knife here, that would completely suppress anyone trying to push A main. Obviously, people are going to be deterred from pushing, so then that smoke can actually come down on time. I really dislike placing this smoke, obviously, if you couldn't tell, because there's just too much setup that you need to do. For rotating, you're gonna want to rotate pretty quick, taking the fastest route. Obviously, you're gonna have to stop to place your smoke, but getting here in order to flash or whatever is gonna be very important. When you have your ultimate and they call B, immediately ult into boathouse. The windup for this is pretty slow, so you do need to be able to get into boathouse as quick as possible to help your team out in flash like this. If you don't have an ult and you need to, and they're playing on site, and you want to give them a survival smoke, you can always place a smoke like this, and that will help cut off some of the angles, which allows them to cross here a little bit safer, and then they can focus on stairs a little bit more, go for those gunfights, and then fight anyone coming out like this. That way they can kind of focus their crosshair here, and that way anyone swinging them from close will be right in your crosshair. Anyone swinging from behind the dice will be in your crosshair, and then stairs will obviously be a small flick away. This way you can also navigate in between, right, like this. Now if somebody jumps up on you, and it gives you not that bad of an angle on people like here, but again, of course, that could be used against you so it's not my favorite survival smoke, but it is one that you could throw more of as a Hail Mary, right, for people playing on site. Which is kind of like getting into my next point. Don't waste your smokes. If they call B and they are already out of B main, it's not even worth it to throw this smoke. The reason being is, if you're throwing this, right, whatever, and they're all out of the choke, this smoke's not actually going to do anything for your team. If I were to suggest a smoke, I would actually throw it here on the retake. That way it'll block anyone playing here. which is pretty common, especially in the higher levels, because, well, you want that ratty lurk player. It's very hard to clear this player out without a very hard committal, and then obviously the player clearing you out in B main has to worry about this crossfire. You could be on either side, and they also have to worry about someone peeking them from lane. So clearing this player out can be very hard. Oftentimes you just have to ignore it, or hold it like this, and hold the smoke, because otherwise they have no incentive to peek you. So ignoring them and then going for the site players can be really nice. You could also smoke. Where is it? Here? No, I think I'm drunk actually. Um, what am I thinking of? I might actually be drunk. There's a
Cover going out.
no. Sorry. I'm actually losing my mind. I'll wait for that smoke to go down. When you're playing B and you're going for a retake, the best smoke or the best blind that you could probably do is one right here.
Stealing sight.
That'll get logs. That'll get lane, right? That'll get anyone in this dragon box. Oh, what was I talking about? Oh, right. Also this blind can be very good. It's very safe and gets anyone in boathouse. This is the smoke that you would do. For the retake, you'd smoke like this, and then since you saved your other smoke, you can smoke like this. This allows you to, your CT players to push out a little bit easier, and then when you're trying to make sure that you don't die to the B main player, you'd smoke that so you stop that crossfire. So that would be your two smokes. Like I said, don't waste your B main smoke. If they're already out of the choke, or your teammates are just have fully backed up, let's say they just want to play the full retake and they're behind this smoke right here, throwing the B main smoke isn't helping anyone. There's nobody playing lane, then obviously you're just wasting a smoke for no reason. Finally on attack, this blind is pretty good. Blind's boathouse. But make sure that you're actually blinding when your teammates are actually close. So probably you'd actually blind more like this. That way you don't blind the people lane. That should be pretty much it for ascent. I can't think of anything else that people really do wrong. Omen should never play mid. I forgot about that. If you're playing cat or market as Omen, you're trolling. And then obviously these smokes have a deceptively long travel time. So make sure that you're actually waiting here for the smoke to go down. Oh, and when you're smoking here, don't smoke like I did. This is the only time where you would actually want like a lip like this to come out. Because if you don't have this, the people from this box can see cat, and it's a horrible experience. This happened to Osboss. He was trying to get this angle, and then they smoked it, and then he died. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something. If you didn't, that's fine. But yeah, I just wanted to make a short video here. And by short, I mean 18 minutes. Nice one, Rocket. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.